Welcome back to 100 Days of Making Comics, and this is last day. What do you mean? Why are you giving up? Well, let's get into that. So welcome back. This is Cetriya, Cetriya, and yes, this is the last video for 100 Days of Making Comics. Now, let's get into a little bit of history as to why I'm deciding not to continue into the next year of this challenge. And I know you're thinking, oh, I almost made it. Well, there isn't any hard, fast rules from what I understand of the challenge, but I know in general for 100 straight days, you're supposed to go ahead and make this comic with about 30 minutes a day. To be frank, I've definitely put in more than 30 minutes a day each day that I create the comics because it takes a while for me to get into a rhythm, into a flow. And once I get into that kind of flow state, I really don't want to all of a sudden cut it off for a timer. In fact, it probably takes me longer than 30 minutes just to get into it. But the main reason really is I did not want to continue into the new year with a challenge that I've been working on. I may do the 100 Days of Making Comics again, but since the whole point of 100 Days of Making Comics was to get into the habit of creating comics, I am doing that. But more importantly though is the fact that I'm finding it a bit weird, like a weird sense of feeling when I'm creating my comics and having to record every single day and to come up with something to say about it. So instead, I'm going to just go ahead and morph in my weekly videos of either me recording my process or talking about my comic process and just putting in a bit of a summary, thoughts, my struggles and whatnot. This is also to add to my Diary of a Mangaka Wannabe podcast that I hope to put out in this coming year. So no, this is not a give up. I am not giving up on my comic. I hope to get the second part of chapter 2 in the next week or so, which comes to something else that's coming in that a number of my close family members and friends, they've all been dealing with medical issues to begin with, but in the last 2-3 weeks, it's been pretty, it's been taking a lot of energy out of me because I am there to help them with any of their needs. Now, don't misunderstand, don't feel bad or sad or dark about it really. I actually wasn't feeling too worried. It was pretty strenuous, and I know for them it was very emotional. It took an emotional toll on their end, but for me, I just was really tired because whenever something like this happened, my first thought isn't to be sad or crying about it, especially if I don't feel the person's life is threatened. My first thought is, how can I make this better for them? How can I help them to get through the situation and to do whatever I can do? Because one, I am not a doctor, and two, even if I was a doctor can only do so much. They do not have omnipotent power to heal every hurt person out there, because so everyone on the world and on earth, you including you guys, you do your best that you can in the situation, and you have to come to acceptance that you can only do your best and nothing more. So pretty much I've been doing a lot of night nursing, driving back and forth for quite a number of hours. So that's the main reason why in the last month or so, I've not been able to really just have a moment to sit down and work. Add to the fact that because I am so sleepy, it's really hard for me to really clearly, I pretty much go to work as a zombie, and work takes up all of my energy. So by the time I come home, the last thing I want to do is touch anything with a computer in my hand. That's my day job. I am creating art on the computer with tablet for about 5 to 8 hours of the day if I'm not doing some other kind of administrative task for them. So to come home and spend another hour, 2 or 3 working on my own stuff is it's a lot. So I've pretty much been resting. Now and then I got a little, I wouldn't say sick myself, just, if you're not eating well, because the type of food that I've been eating basically took a toll also, and not sleeping enough, basically your body's really being taxed, it's really being stressed, so it's not performing to its peak to begin with. So I've just been really, really tired this last month or two. And I know the next coming month is still going to be a challenge as my loved ones start to recover. They'll need support for that, lots of things. And of course, this is the time of the year that people are planning for, new hopes and dreams and goals. As I recently posted my goal video for 2018, there was a couple of them that since that video posted, I've added into my agenda or planner book. And like I said, it's not like I'm going to get all of them done, but I'm going to do my best to get all of them done, and know that at the end of the year 2018, when I write another 2019 goal video, that I will have completed a number of things and be proud of myself, because I am coming from a point of view where I feel that I wouldn't say I wasted my 20s, but I could have used my 20s far more effectively, as this month I just turned 30. There was a lot of sitting down and waiting, or sitting down and being either upset or sad. More often I'm an upset type. Like, I usually emotionally get defensive in an upset kind of way. No yelling at anybody or anything, just more of a, I'm upset, so let me go sit in a corner and emote for a bit, for quite a long time. And as I realize, looking back, I see that I've wasted way too much time in that. In all honesty, even seeing my own family, as we all grow older, we realize that as much as the current, like the time you're living in right now, is not, it may not be pleasant, sitting and letting the time go by is worse in the long run, because you can always find another friend, you can always find someone else to care for, you could always find another job, though that may be difficult depending on, the economy and the area that you're in. You can always go learn a new skill. You can always, you could always earn more money, but you can never get the time you lost. You cannot turn back the time. There is nothing. That is the one thing that is very finite and precious. All of us are forced to go into the next moment. There is nothing that can stop that. I didn't mean to get into too much of a, personal point there, but I figure that a lot of you are not a lot, everyone is going through something. And again, this is not a, oh, I gave up, because I'm still going to do the comic anyways, and I'm still going to record it anyways. But I feel that for efficiency reason, I do not want to, and for cleanup reasons, I just don't want to continue on with 100 days into the new year. I still will be working on that comic. I recently had like a bit of a breakthrough of what I want chapter 3 to be, all the way up to chapter 5. So over the weekend, if my family members don't need me to do too many physical things while I'm visiting, I might sit there and sketch into the book. I look very forward towards my sketchbook tours that I plan to have for the channel. I have a number of things that I want to prep up besides the podcast, and hopefully work on that little subscription pack, mailing pack and stuff. And I have a number of tutorials that I'd like to work on. So if you have any requests or suggestions, make sure you leave them in the link. I also want to hopefully get more sketch requests, but I really want to cater this channel, because there are other things I'd like to put on the channel, but it wouldn't make sense in terms of style wise or brand wise. And I really want to keep this channel family friendly and more towards contemporary or sci-fi. I don't really want to add other things, because to be frank, as a consumer, as someone who read books or watch movies and TV shows personally, I feel that I am not finding the stuff that I would like to consume myself. And I'm sure there's plenty of more stuff in, let's say, the independent publishing on Amazon or whatnot. But for some reason, I'm feeling that a lot of entertainment just aren't catering to what I like. And I know I'm not that unique, that other people like me don't exist, or people who may like stuff that's coming out wouldn't want something similar to things that I like. And I see it as, I want to share really, an alternative, or just something that is far more lighthearted and fun, especially when it comes to science fiction. For the most part, I think science fiction, because of the budget that requires, and quite frankly, a far more amount of creativity that's required to write a good science fiction, or even a science comedy, or just anything that deals with sci-fi, is rarely ever allowed without it being mixed into something else. Basically, I'm creating my comics and my story and my channel to share with other people like-minded who just want some place to come and chill and relax. I really want to work on my channel. I really want to present something as fun and entertaining and enjoyable for when you come back from, let's say, work or school or whatever things that you have to do, that you come back and have something that you could just sit and you could put it on blaster or speakers. You know, it's something that you could just calmly watch and engage into it and just lose yourself into it and just have fun. So here's to my continuation of creating Crossstar. Here's to my continuation of recording my comic making process, both on video and on the audio diary of a mangaka wannabe. And here's to all of us just geeking out on little things and enjoyable things. Enjoy this process markers. I'm using my Letraset markers right now instead of the shuttle art markers. Just enjoying making chapter 3's cover art and things. I'm trying not to spoil too much of what chapter 3 is going to be about, but this has just been really enjoyable for me, working and experimenting on making the comics and all the things about it. So this is the last video of this year. I hope you guys enjoy your New Year's. Please be safe, because this, for some reason, is also the time that people are doing questionable acts. Enjoy your time with your friends and your family, because again, time is the one thing that you can never get back. And I hope to see you all in the next video.